everybody. On today's Ask Kristen, I'm doing something I have never done on any Stuff Mom Never Told You video never, and that is, we're gonna be using some dirty words. And if that's gonna be offensive to you, then get the f out of here! Before I start cursing like a sailor, I just want to share a little bit of feedback from last week's video on how to stop sexist jokes, which generated so many comments. One of which came from Sun-Kissed Obsidian. I personally find sexist jokes okay, and yes, I am a feminist, just as long as people know their boundaries and when to stop. What is comedy without racism, homophobia, sexism, etc.? The point that Sun-Kissed Obsidian and a number of other commenters are making is that, hey, if you start saying that X kind of comedy is not okay, then we're gonna be left with nothing but stale knock-knock jokes and the world will no longer be fun. I also don't think that specific topics should be explicitly off the table in terms of comedy. There's so much bad comedy that isn't making any kind of wise statement through this humorous veil about what actually is messed up in the world. It only laughs at what's messed up in the world and then keeps going. And I'm just saying, be smarter. Now on to today's Ask Kristen, in which I'm about to use some dirty words. I think it's worthwhile to drop these curse bombs in the name of answering a question that I've thought about as well. This is coming from Samantha Lopez, who wants to know, Dear Kristen, Dear Samantha, why is it okay to say the B word on television but not other, perhaps less offensive bad words? Why is this word not censored? Let us, Samantha, talk about bitch. There was an article that I found from the New York Times in 2009 talking about how all of a sudden douche was everywhere on television as well as bitch. They reported that the use of bitch tripled in the last decade, growing to 1,277 uses on 685 shows in 2007, compared to just 431 uses in primetime episodes in 1998. In a nutshell, the reason why you hear bitch on television so often, but you don't hear say shit or fuck, is that the FCC, or the Federal Communications Commission, that oversees profanity in broadcast TV and radio, doesn't consider bitch to really be that bad of a word. The FCC in general simply doesn't want to hear profane words relating to sex acts or bodily functions. The individual networks also have rules as to how many times you can say bitch or douche or dick. In fact, AMC prohibited Breaking Bad writers from using fuck too many times in its purview. I'm sure Jesse could say bitch as many times as he wanted. So you have the broadcast networks saying, hey, listen, we need to be able to use this kind of harsh language as well because audiences love profanity because it makes a conversation more realistic and edgier, whereas there are plenty of other people who are saying, listen, whoa, we're already hearing bitch and dick and douche all the time. We don't need any more profanity. And the FCC actually delayed its ruling on dropping the F-bomb ban, as I call it. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. As a woman, does it concern me that the FCC, in fact, legally doesn't consider bitch to be a profane word? Bitch is a tricky word to talk about because I use bitch in loving ways toward my girlfriends. It's this word that's tossed about so much that it's almost lost its meaning, which you could argue is maybe a good thing. In a lot of ways, bitch has been reclaimed, but in a lot of ways too, women are still called bitches all the time, and that doesn't feel good. But I want to know from you, is it time for the FCC to finally just open up the profanity floodgates and let people on TV say whatever they want? Or is all the cursing that we're hearing these days more than ever before, and especially the constant use of bitch, problematic? Tell me all your bitchin' thoughts. Bitchin' as in awesome. Don't forget to leave your questions as well, because you ask, and I'll try to answer. Bitches.